So, what's one decision that you all made early on in starting your brokerage that has had a major impact on the success?
Goodness. Like we could go
So many different
directions.
Yeah.
ways.
Hiring and who we hired.
Yeah, and honestly, I think being authentically ourselves, like we've gone into this so transparent. That was like one of the biggest things was we were like, we just want everybody, all of our agents, all of our clients, everybody to know that like we just who we present ourselves to be is who we genuinely are.
Welcome to the Entrepreneur's Blueprint. I'm Courtney Cook, founder of Monarch COO, where I help mission-driven entrepreneurs grow their businesses. Each week, I sit down with inspiring entrepreneurs to explore the stories behind their successes and challenges. Whether you're just dreaming of starting a business or already building one, this podcast is here to show you that entrepreneurship is more attainable than it might seem, with insights for every stage of the journey. Real estate runs deep for the women behind West Village Realty, a boutique brokerage built on generations of experience, family values, and a passion for serving others. Wendy Foyle never expected to follow in her family's footsteps, but after decades in the industry, her daughters Sarah Harnett and Hannah Shireman joined her, forming a top-producing real estate team. After 15 years in the top 1% of Kansas City realtors, they decided to take a leap of faith. In 2021, they launched West Village Realty, creating a brokerage where agents feel supported, clients feel like family, and relationships always come first. Let's dive in to today's conversation and see what it takes to build a business. Today on the Entrepreneur's Blueprint, I have three guests with me, the mother-daughter trio of West Village Realty, a boutique real estate brokerage in Kansas City. Welcome to the podcast, ladies.
Thanks
for having us.
I'm thrilled you're here. So there's obviously tons of real estate firms everywhere, but I specifically wanted to have you three here because of what you're building at West Village Realty. And I believe it's different than the run-of-the-mill real estate company. I think that more people should see that you can operate a business in really unique ways. Even though sometimes our own mindset tells us that there's only one way to run a business. So I feel like you three are living proof that you can approach a business differently and be wildly successful. So thank you again. And let's just start off with a round of intros. So I'm just looking, by the way, I'm seeing you on the screen. So Hannah, do you want to kick off with who you are?
Yes, yeah. I'm Hannah Shireman with West Village Realty, and I have been a realtor since 2014. We started our brokerage in 2021, and yeah, we've been doing the thing ever since. So I'm a wife, a mom of two. I have a 3 and a 4-year-old, and so they keep life super fun and busy. And yeah, we just are doing the real estate thing.
Love it.
I am in my 20th year. I'm Wendy Foyle, West Village Realty, and I started in 2004. So I started with a large firm here in Kansas City, and then just 3 years ago, we started our own place.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I am the other daughter, Sarah. I'm the oldest, and I started in 2011. And it's been, right out of college. I got my license actually as I was graduating from KU.
Oh, cool.
And joined my mom. And then, shortly after Hannah joined us. And it's been a whole whirlwind. I mean, the market, real estate is always a roller coaster. But I've learned so much. And I'm so thankful to have these two to kind of navigate all that with. And I also, I'm a mom of two. Second and third grade girls, and my husband's kind of in the business too. He's a general contractor.
Oh,
so that's
sweet.
sort of our story.
I didn't
Awesome.
mean to leave Jake out. My poor son, he's 20. I literally got my license when I was about to have a baby. And so he's
Crazy.
20 and he's at K-State, and my husband is a retired professor. College.
Okay. So that's fascinating. So you were about to have your third baby and you're like, I'm going to make a career shift or what?
Yeah, I did.
Why not?
Wow. That is awesome. And so brave because you're like, I'm doing life and like it's time to do it differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was 9 months pregnant.
And she didn't
getting
become,
her
and she didn't become a real estate agent until she was 41, which is like so
41.
fun too, because
That's
I think
awesome.
we were in our 20s, and so we've gotten to
an earlier start.
in the
she's become successful, like, on the second half of life. And
Yeah, like starting a completely new life with like that takes a lot of bravery.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
To just leave what you know. Way to go. Okay. So I guess kick us off then with why you started West Village Realty. What started that instead of just sticking with other firms in Kansas City?
Yeah, we were with an international brand and of Sotheby's International. We were there for about 3 years. And we all collectively said we would rather be a local boutique company, start our own, and do it the way we'd like to do it.
We were already sort of operating that way, really, since we started. We were basically a company within a company, and so we had established, a lot of that groundwork from the very beginning. So it was maybe a little bit of an easier launch because we had so much started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think because we were with a really big local firm, we were with Reese Nichols, then we were with a big international brand, and then we kind of said how could we be more in control of our culture and this dynamic? And that was the biggest shift for us. Was how do we curate what we as agents desire
and value
and give to other agents that same environment that we're craving. So that was really the big push, I feel like.
Yeah.
For us to
that was
go
the
out.
Inspiration.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's cool. So you kind of followed each other. No matter where you were at, you kind of all kind of stuck together. I love that even more.
Yeah, we were a Wendy Foyle team. And so it's a little hard to break away from the name.
Yes.
But we started to be okay, we want everyone to have identity in this brand. And so it gets really hard to hold identity for an individual agent under someone's name. So we were we got to shift this. How can we
make everyone feel like it's their own?
Right.
But also still maintain that family name, which that's where it kind of comes from. West is her maiden name, and so it is a family name that has stuck with us. So that was one way we kind of got to carry that out.
Yeah, and we function as a village. We just work together and pull for each other, and we just thought the name would be perfect as West Village.
That's awesome. I love that name. It's so, I didn't realize that was your maiden name. So now I just have an even more, a greater respect and just sweetness with everything that you're building. So what was the process of creating your business separately from working for others? What were the first few things that you did?
Yeah.
Hannah, you can address that.
I was just going to say, I feel like really the big thing that said, okay, this is happening, we're doing this, was honestly our building. Because we kind of had this idea okay, maybe we could go out on our own someday. What if we started our own company? And we kind of just started exploring that. And honestly, at the time, Sarah and I were in a Bible study with a gal whose husband is in commercial real estate. So we kind of
floated the
idea flippantly. We're like, hey, have you ever found anything in this vicinity? And he was like, oh my gosh, I know the perfect space. It actually just sold and he's getting ready to rent it tomorrow. And we were already getting sad when we pulled up because we were like, oh no, we have to have this.
Yeah, we can't say no
because we want it to be our space.
Yeah.
And so we were like, okay, well, maybe we can figure it out. Anyway, so we honestly, God is through it and in it all. Like he opened every door.
100%.
There is nothing.
We didn't force anything.
No, it just all
Oh my
rolled
gosh.
out and fell into place, and that's how we knew it was like meant to be.
We said, how do we buy this place? We don't want to rent it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He went back to that owner and said, they don't want to rent it. They want to buy it.
And so, yeah, he let us buy it. And
Stop.
it was like, okay, we're doing this.
Meant to be. So many connections too, just within that. There's just, it was very much, it felt like God driven and like unintentionally, like on our part. We weren't, I don't feel like forcing anything. That's kind of the theme throughout. Like really all of our stuff. Journey. It's very much, we're just being led in all this. Obviously, there's other factors and it takes putting your foot
you got to do it, but we trust.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can attest for their space because it is the cutest little space that there ever was. Like you cannot recreate it and have the charm that it has. It's just
this. We love it. So
it's perfect.
Brings us joy just being in this space.
Everybody likes to come to work every day.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet. Can I have a space? Can I rent out a corner? I'll take anything. It's really close to my house too. I will. We'll have coffee. So has there been any unexpected challenges that you're like, oh, I wish we would have thought about that ahead of time?
Yeah.
I'm gonna speak into that.
I was gonna say, I feel like our challenge in the beginning has honestly even maybe become more of our strength because we, in the beginning, creating like culture and environment that is life-giving to everybody and a space where you want to be and that you feel known and seen and loved, all and that safe, is hard to like just make happen. And so I think we were really intentional about doing that along the way, and it wasn't necessarily easy. We ran into a lot of things that we were like, okay, let's talk through this. Let's figure out like, what we can do better as leaders and also what our agents need in terms of in our office. And I feel I
feel like we were really struggling with that in the beginning so much that we were like, we don't want this to be all about the three of us. We really want it to be everybody feels a part of it, ownership and ideas, and that they're heard. And so we were like, let's talk to people. Let's see what other people did. We talked to other agents and we found these coaches through a mutual agent friend. And they came in, they flew in from California. They kind of helped us by asking questions to the girls without us present so that they could feel heard. And anyway, so I feel like there was a challenge for us to, we valued culture and community so much that we were like, this is hard to just manufacture. We can't do that. So how do we do this? And now,
had to kind of get out of our own space and out of our own way to just see where we could improve and I almost just feel like that feels like our strength now because it's a space where we weren't coming to the office no one really, there wasn't necessarily a want to be here. And now I would say it's like you feel like FOMO if you don't come. You're like, I gotta get there. I gotta see my people.
We love it so much.
I would say that was a challenge.
I feel like that was a game changer. We're just were a game changer coming here to talk to those girls upstairs. And say, what would you do differently? Or how do you feel like something could change? Or what do you think is working? And then they brought that back to us, and
then there was a lot of mix up some changes. That. There was a lot of changes, and that was good. And
it was growing pains, but it worked.
Well, the humility, the best leaders have humility, and the humility that we've never run our own brokerage before, but we know what we want it to feel like. So we need to invest in the things that are going to help us get there. And you guys did that. And not everyone's going to make the investment to do it, take the time to do it, or have the empathy to do it. And I'm sure it's paying off in really great ways. I bet your team says the same thing.
Yeah, they do. It's something that we all talk about all the time. And actually, we just all went to, we did a rewards like incentive trip, and we were all in the Dominican, and at lunch one day, every single
We're all,
girl,
like, crying.
we're all like crying. Like, this is just the best place we've ever been. And it just was like, it just felt so validating and like, so honestly just rewarding, and God's little like reward to us of like, this is the good work. You are doing it, even though it's been really hard. And it just is, it's safe, it's home, it feels like so good. And we are so thankful. But yeah.
That's great. So was there a turning point or a specific situation where you all were like, oh my gosh, this is going to work. And this is exactly what we're supposed to be doing, where it was just validation as far as the business itself, like we're going places.
Yeah.
I would say yes. Well, first of all, just being a new baby brokerage, and to start out and try to create and get our name known. We did do Grace. What
Marrow. Yeah, we hired like a graphic designer, and we hired a woven copywriter,
and a web page designer. So we had all that started. But then how do you get it out there?
Yeah.
And a dream of mine, not necessarily the girls, but mine was to always be in the Kansas City Business Journal.
Yeah.
And so that first year of completion, we made the Business Journal list.
Wow.
Like, we were number 31.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
For a baby brand new company, I feel like that was
when it was like,
when I realized, oh my gosh, we fit into, you don't know.
Yeah.
No one knows where you really are until you get, you get some numbers and recognize. But it's not about that with us. You're just saying to me, when did you realize it? That's when I realized
You're like, oh my gosh, wait, pinch me.
Yeah.
This is working.
Yeah. I could have cried.
Yeah.
I did cry.
That's awesome. I mean, how amazing. You're like, I get to do this with my daughters. Like, I dream of that. I'm already telling my 6-year-old, hey, do you want to do this someday with mommy? Do you want to do this work on the computer?
No, they never wanted to.
Yeah, that was. I was gonna ask you. Has the plan always been to be in real estate together?
No.
Really?
We hated it. We were like, we're never going in real estate.
Never say never.
Always on her phone.
I was always on my phone and always on the computer. I did not have an assistant.
Yeah. So, like, okay, how can we hang out with you? I guess we'll just do it.
Yeah. That's what it takes.
Kidding. No. Yeah.
I had to establish some boundaries. I finally realized after that of them going, you're always on the phone. And then when my baby, Jake, at like less than 2, like 1.5, would pick up the remote control and hold it to his ear, I was like, oh my God. Okay. I'm changing that. And I literally did change that. I would finish talking in the car in the garage. Hang up and then go in the house so that I wasn't always on the phone.
Yeah.
Life changing.
Yeah.
I
know.
Yeah.
I need to be better.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what was your childhood like, I guess, for Sarah and Hannah first? Like where did you grow up? What was it like in your household? And then we'll jump over to Wendy.
It's fun to think about. Like we had a great childhood. Like we were so close. Like our family was so close. Sarah and I did not like each other.
No, we
weren't close.
How many years apart?
We're almost 4 years apart. We're 3 years apart. And so that's just tough. I mean, literally I will ask her like, remember in high school when I like whatever, and she's like, no, I literally don't remember you. I don't remember you in high school. Now we're best friends. But
that's hilarious.
Yeah, I think childhood's fun to think about just from the dynamic. Our parents are really close and friends and love each other so much. So that was just a fun dynamic to grow up around. And then as mom got into her career of real estate, I was 12 and Sarah was 16, 17 or something. And so then it did quickly revolve around real estate. I mean, we talked about
we babysat Jake,
the
baby,
the 2-year-old,
who was just born,
so she could show and just all the things. Yeah, I mean, we talked about real estate constantly. We knew her clients. We knew what deals were going on.
Yeah.
You know, like we just had the lingo in our brains. Like really,
they were raised with it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know anything.
Did you have impersonations for her?
Oh, I mean, we could probably, but now we just talk the same.
Yeah, you're one.
Who we are.
Yeah, you're cut from the same cloth.
Yeah,
yeah. So we're not our own people anymore.
No.
We've just like
We
morphed into one.
Yeah.
So,
That's so sweet.
But yeah, I would say like, yeah, we had a great, like I look back and I'm really grateful for just, even as a parent now, an example of just like the way they were really invested in our life and we talked about everything. I feel like there was just a kind of open line of communication, which probably has helped us in this business of just being a people business and talking to people and listening to them and knowing
understanding them. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think that all, anyway, has been integrated.
Yeah. Family meeting.
Yeah.
Family meeting.
Family meeting was when we...
Your faces.
Family meeting.
All the family meetings.
Oh, all of them. And then
turn the lights off when you leave a room. You know.
That costs money.
Yeah. Now they're doing that. And
they're having their own family meetings.
Little did we know. It was all just to...
Yep.
Yeah.
So what's Jake gonna do?
No.
Yeah. No. Good question.
I do.
TBD.
I think he wants to be a part of the business, even though we're all women.
We are all.
It might change
economics.
Yeah.
So we
could do some back end stuff.
Yeah, we could probably use that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, yes.
He would be a great agent. He's an amazing, like, communicator. He's very with it and smart and respectful.
Yeah.
He would be a great.
We might need to change his name to Jackie because
He fits in more. No.
I don't know how.
He's probably not going to go for that one. Hilarious.
Yeah.
So, Wendy, what about you? Did you imagine being an entrepreneur or making your way to real estate?
I really didn't. However, it happened though. But I never thought. But my mom was a realtor. My grandparents owned their own brokerage. My uncle, my aunt,
it's in the family.
So my whole family had
Okay.
real estate background and grew up with my mom showing houses all the time and bringing me with her.
And it's funny, I never put it together.
And I never put it together. And when I started my first real estate job, it was working for Trammell Crow in the apartment industry. And I'd go from new community to new community, new construction, fill them up, move on to the next one.
Mm.
And so eventually I was like, I really would like to do this with houses instead of apartments.
Yeah.
And then it clicked that, oh,
you were kind of destined for this.
Yeah. It's in your blood.
I start sooner. And it's honestly, I don't let fear enter my life, but it was a little bit of a fear because of the no benefits, straight commission. Never know when your next check is coming.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it was a little bit of fear, but it was meant
all
to be.
Of this has been steps of
faith
and
steps of faith,
leaps,
and not always easy. There was the recession and stuff.
Yeah.
Like the market crash. She was through that.
And got through that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
got through it.
Yeah, you started in a time where you're probably like, you were like, oh, this is going great. And then all of a sudden, 4 years later, did I make the right decision?
Yeah.
So crazy.
It was.
How did you keep going through some of those times? Wendy, when you were living through like, oh my gosh, what does this mean for me and my family now?
Well, we just kept pressing on. We just kept working and trusting. And there were some really very hard times.
Yeah.
There were some difficult times. But
I was going to say, I feel like it also made you a better agent and empathetic because at the same time, you kind of understood the struggle of people like with short sales having to bring money to the table. That's where I entered the scene.
Yeah.
And watching her have these conversations with people saying like, okay, so, right now we get to tell people like, oh, you're gonna make like 50,000 from this sale. And when I entered in, it was like,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, but
You're going to have to bring about 18,000. I remember this
Do
conversation.
you have a plan?
You're going to have to bring about 18,000 to the
Closing
table. And
statement.
she's like, I don't have that. And I said,
Mm.
you need to borrow and
Yeah.
talk to your parents
to
or something, because
family.
otherwise you're going to have a foreclosure on your record. And I just talked through it and say, I'm so sorry. But it would work. We would close. And
She was a problem solver
Mhm.
with people going through one of the hardest times.
times.
Mhm. And the grit that you probably you had no choice but to develop it.
Yeah.
Right.
Of like, it's hard to see people go through those times too.
Yes.
And delivering bad news is not
We
fun.
were going through it ourselves too.
Yeah.
Like, it was just really tough because my mom was in real estate and that was her career. My dad was getting his PhD.
I was in college.
Sarah was in college.
Oh my
I was
gosh.
getting ready to go into college. So it was just, and then we had a
3 people in
2-year-old
college at the same time.
and one income.
and one income that was, the market was crashed. So there was not
Crazy.
a whole lot of real estate going on for
Yeah.
like months. So that was tough for us too. But I feel like kind of developed this open-handedness that we all have of just like
hold it loosely.
hold everything loosely.
Nothing's guaranteed.
Nothing is guaranteed. Money comes and goes, and you can't depend on it. It really is not something to like lay your foundation of your life on. And so I do think it shaped us in so many good ways. Yeah.
Yeah. That is really beautiful. Wendy, you like, I already know you're obviously so proud of these girls, but like what you have done from a parenting aspect, I aspire to as well. I just think the three of you are a really great example of hard work and grit and sticking together and holding an open hand to the Lord to say, whatever will be, whatever you have for us. It's awesome.
That's true.
So what are your goals for this year for West Village Realty?
We get some fun ones.
Yeah, we do have some fun ones. What are our big overarching goals that we can talk about?
I know. Yeah. A little like in process.
We had our best year ever last year. We had our best year last year.
Crazy.
And a couple of our girls in the office had their best year ever last year. And so we're looking forward to 2025. We've increased our goal. Hannah hasn't.
I don't like increasing my goal. It gives me anxiety. I don't like
So she hasn't, but we have some fun things to look forward to next year.
Yeah, numbers wise, we're excited. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I think we're like one thing that we've all been intentional and goal oriented towards is just all of our agents are kind of diving into their own communities and neighborhoods. Like Lindsay is doing she's been renting the dumpsters and telling all her neighbors like, bring your big stuff and I'll take care of the dumpster fees. And she gets to meet people that way. They're knowing who she is as a resource in her community. And Kristen just joined the board for her HOA. And so I just feel like all of us have are like digging into our communities right around us. And
that's a good goal. Yeah. And that's something we one of our big things this year was like, how can we, spread out and not be so like, okay, I'm going to go home and I'm going to eat dinner with my kids and then I'm going to go to bed. I don't know. We were just trying to think of ways that we can really think outward. And so it'll be interesting to see how that
feels
helps this year.
So
changes.
Yeah, that's awesome. I want Lindsay to live in my neighborhood.
I know. I know. We need to all start doing dumpster rentals.
Yeah, we all have
great
that stuff
idea.
we're holding on to.
Yeah. So what's one decision that you all made early on in starting your brokerage that has had a major impact on the success of how did you do this in 4 years? Yeah. 4 years?
Oh my goodness. I'm like, I could go so many different ways.
Yeah.
Hiring and who we've hired.
Yeah. And honestly, I think being authentically ourselves, like we've gone into this so transparent. That was like one of the biggest things was we were like, we just want everybody, all of our agents, all of our clients, everybody to know that like we just, who we present ourselves to be is who we genuinely are. And I think as, you know, when we started our own thing, we wanted every agent to also realize that that's something we want them to do too. And just kind of to create this reputation of like, oh, the West Village girls are so kind, so honest, so transparent, and our
I want to work with
integrity,
them.
yes, like
Yeah.
our integrity is something I feel like I was really passionate about from the beginning.
So just I agree with that.
Mhm.
Being there's no veil, there's no
Mhm.
mask.
Our culture has been a big part of how we've formed the business and how the girls that are here have been here for years. Several of them have been since we started.
Nice.
So, and with the coaches that we were talking about, they did help us with our culture of what we want. And I think that's the biggest piece that's made us successful is that we all help each other.
And life is like already hard enough. Like that's, I think, what we keep coming back to is like life is so hard. There's so many things thrown at us. We're all just humans. And so how can we, you know, walk through this process with our clients and be like a light and a joy for them and not this like emotional like roller coaster. We want to be the steady like landing place and the safe place for our clients. And so then we've tried to create that with our agents so that they can then be that for their clients. It's just kind of like we've just wanted to create an easy, life-giving space. And I think we're doing that, honestly.
Yeah. I know. I was just gonna add like that whole abundance mindset, scarcity, like everything. We're not reinventing anything. Like we just share everything. Like we're not having to like hoard to stand out or be different.
Yeah.
Right. It's like there's plenty out there for us to like share in each other's successes and give to each other. So I don't know.
You guys are authentic. Like I see it every day and I love that. So how do you, as real estate agents, as owning your own brokerage, how do you balance the demands of running this business with your personal life? How do you have a free weekend? I don't know how you guys do it.
We don't.
It's all
one weekend a year.
Yeah, really.
I honestly don't feel like we have like big boundaries. We don't. But like my kids on snow days, they know like they get excited to come here.
They get to come to work.
All of us are like, hey, we have a snow day. Just come to the office. There's snacks. It's fun. And
I know. And it gets really hard to like have boundaries when we're all family. So we're like even if we're like away at a restaurant for dinner or whatever, we're still working. I mean, we're talking about work.
Our husbands get annoyed with that.
Yeah, I was going to say, what do the husbands think?
I know, ask our husbands that.
At the same time, they're like, okay, but she's working.
Or they want to know like what's the latest with such and such.
Yeah. With that one. I knew you had to delay the voting.
Yep.
So it is probably just
it's just always going to be
They're very supportive.
Yeah, it's always going to be a dance, but I do think we all want to create balance within our families. And so we do have a running narrative of like, okay, we're going to go to the classroom party. We're going to be the mystery reader. We're going to
You're
going to
go to swimming lessons.
We're going to go to,
there's all the basketball games.
And she set our mom set the tone for that early on when she noticed Jake on his phone or on his pretend phone of just saying, okay, I'm not going to walk into the house on my phone. So I think just being mindful of it and trying your best. I mean,
we're not going to be perfect at it, that's for sure. But
what for each of you? What is the most rewarding part of being a business owner?
I can say the biggest reward for me is being so connected to our agents. This really feels like a family. This isn't just you show up, we're talking business. We're like sharing life together. And so because we kind of have to be each other's biggest cheerleaders and supports, we're kind of that in all aspects of life. And seeing like some of these girls' lives changed and I just seeing them go through, we've seen each other and shared like the depths of of what life can throw at us. And having that like intimate of a friendship and connection with the people you work with,
That's such a good.
I couldn't like ask for more.
It truly is family. I know a lot of people say that, but this is real. Like we know what's happening in their life, and it's
amazing. And on top
it's something that we all pray about and help each other with.
Yep.
We interview with that in mind. We say, okay, we are.
And we pray a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
We pray a lot. If you're okay with that, then you would probably be a good fit. But if you're not, you would probably not like us.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true.
You might be scared of us. Yeah.
Yeah. You would be.
Yeah. I'm like, and on top of that, our clients go through some of the hardest seasons of their life. It's like a divorce or someone, you know what I mean? Like they're going through a hard time. Like moving isn't
or
always
they're downsizing to a smaller house, and all of those things are so emotional. Yes, that we want to be able to be strong for them.
And I think if you were to ask me, like, what's your favorite part of being a business owner, I would say I love that we can take all of our ideas and make the decision to make them happen. Like, and I'm sure you can relate. There's just so many things that, like, even doing a podcast or whatever, those are just exciting, life-giving ideas that we can finally be like, okay, we really want to do our client event like this. And this is how we want to spend our money. This is great. We can do that, versus like throwing ideas and it just not being, or just being able to do things the way that we want to do them. And also obviously getting feedback from the girls and them having a voice. I always felt like I wanted a voice as an agent in a brokerage. So now it's fun to be able to give other people a voice.
And like empower them to make that happen. And say, okay, let's do that.
Like,
that's exciting.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. What's one thing you wish you knew when you started your entrepreneurial journey? So as you look back and when you were getting things going maybe in 2020 or having these thoughts, is there anything that you're like, that would have been nice to know?
I have things I could say.
Like hiring the right people.
I think that was it. It's like we started as a team of four or five. And the growth is what I didn't. I'm happy with. I'm so blessed and so thankful, but we didn't take into consideration, I don't think, with growing it to 10. So happy that we did. But as you know, we went through some growing pains.
Yeah. As every business does.
Yeah.
How do you, this is like, I probably should have asked earlier, but I'm just kind of curious now. Do you guys have people saying, hey, I want to work for you. I want to work for you. And like, how do you manage that? Because it would be really hard. Like if I was going to be a real estate agent, my first thing would be like, I'm going to text Hannah. But like, how do you manage that?
I feel like that is one of the biggest things that I feel like I wish we would have had a plan for.
Yeah.
When we first started was how do we protect our culture that we're really excited about while still growing. We're a business. We do also need to like grow or want to grow to a degree. So how do we navigate that? And I think I wish that we would have come up with the plan we have now to just kind of set this tone in the scene. Cause now we're saying you have to be an agent for 2 or more years or have done 5 million or more in volume. Basically, we don't have the training or the,
we've learned
some of these.
We can't offer every agent
someone to start.
The same. And so, just in that, then also just kind of creates like-minded, similarly driven women.
Because they've been at least started or been through it for a few years.
Yep.
What happens in real estate. that you have to work.
Yeah, it takes a lot more resourcing.
It's really hard.
It's really hard.
Yeah, to start someone from scratch would take a lot more resourcing.
Right.
A lot of time
Yeah.
that we honestly
Makes
can't
sense.
really get. But, yeah.
Which now some of our admin, they have their license. They're kind of getting that experience
Mhm.
and they're learning along the way.
But working for us
But
first.
yes.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So if people want to reach out or connect with you, work with you, how can they find you?
WestVillageRealty.com.
Yeah, we have
Our
a website.
Instagram page, like we try to like keep track on that stuff. Yeah.
Facebook.
But we
Still.
love meeting new people
We're still
and
there.
like coming into the office. Someone's always here, usually 9 to 2. That's fun.
Yeah, feel
And
free
so
to
popping
pop by.
in,
Yes.
come see the cute A-frame.
So cute. Awesome. Well, thank you all for joining me today. It's been an absolute pleasure to hear your story and such a joy to just know each of you a little bit more. And I'm cheering for you every single day.
We're cheering for
Thank
you.
you for having
Yes.
Well, thank
I
you.
was so honored that you
Yes.
Thank
Yes, my pleasure. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of The Entrepreneur's Blueprint. I hope you found inspiration and insights to fuel your entrepreneurial journey. If you're looking for support in building or scaling your business profitably, visit my website or send me an email to learn more about how I help mission-driven businesses become more profitable, proactive, and efficient. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to leave a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It really helps other entrepreneurs discover the show, and it would mean so much to me as well. Until next time, keep building, keep dreaming, and keep going.